Hi, this is Rich with Rich Baum Photography, Sacramento, California, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Tips and Tricks for Real Estate Photography, where we can talk about all things real estate photography and photography in general related. So I'm here to help you, and I appreciate you coming and hanging out and listening to what I got to tell you. So today's tutorial is on a 6-month review update. And 6 months ago, 7 months ago, I did a review on the new 360 camera by Ricoh, the Theta Z1. And I'm just coming back at you 6 months later to tell you what I'm thinking about it, how 360s in general has been going. So quite an interesting story. And just to give you an update on how I feel about it and how I feel about the whole thing. So please remember, use my Panorama link in the show notes if you're going to go purchase some new equipment. My YouTube channel is sponsored by Panorama, so I want to thank them. But you can really help make these free tutorials if you use that Panorama link. So thank you so much. And you can get this camera at Panorama, as I did, and I think you'll really like it. But let's go into it. Okay, 360s in 2020 with COVID-19 went psychotic. It has gone crazy. Everybody wants to do 360s. Agents are asking for it or demanding it because people don't want to leave their houses. And this is something I've been shooting real estate 360s with DSLRs for over 10 years. And I've done DSLRs, I've done all kinds of things. But these new cameras, they're small, compact, inexpensive, relatively inexpensive, super easy to use. They're great. And I will just premise this video by going, I'm so happy with the Ricoh Theta Z1 and my response from my 360 photography from my clients. And I have doing it commercially. I'm doing it for real estate, MLS shooting, all kinds of things. You're really only limited by your imagination and how you can use this in a specific idea or specific genre of what you want to advertise and make money from. So my original video you can find on my YouTube channel. I think I did it in October. And I got this camera not for real estate photography, but I got it to do some commercial work 360s where we were going to inlay the actual view of a house that was not built yet. It was going to be put into renderings. And that kind of went in one direction, but then I got into it and really thinking I could use this for real estate photography. So I'm just going to go there and go down some points for you. 360 has taken the industry by storm, and I'm not just exaggerating or I'm not benefiting from pushing that concept, but it really has become big. And we'll find out after this whole thing is done, this COVID thing is done. We'll see. Maybe it won't stick around. Maybe it will stick around. But I've certainly invested in this, the Z1, and I'm happy I did, and I'm okay with it. And I use it all the time, so it's really great. The Ricoh Z1 is the upper end of their compact. I don't think they make bigger cameras for 360s, but it's their upper end for a 360 camera. It retails for roughly $995, $999, $1,000. So, I think that's pretty cheap, but that might be a lot of money to you. So that's a consideration. But I'm very happy with the image quality, and we'll go into that more in a minute. But I think it's a great camera to get. And the only biggest problem with this camera is nobody can get it. They sold out, and it's probably made in China, and it's dealing with the COVID, the shutdown of factories and the supply chain. I don't know this in any way, shape, or form as a fact, but I just think that that's probably part of the reason they just don't have enough product for you. But I think it's worth the wait. Now, they make another camera, the Ricoh V. It's an older camera, and I can't tell you firsthand if the quality is 10% worse or 10% better or less or this and that. But I just don't think I would wait for the Z1, or I would buy a V. I think they're about $300 or $400. I don't know for a fact. You can look it up on Panorama's website. But I find that I'm going to wait for the Z1 if I was you. But if you can't wait and you got to get the job done, go buy a V. for $300-400, and then keep it as a backup when your Z1 comes in. Now that might be more than you're willing to put out there, and I understand it. So this is just a comment. It means really nothing to anyone. So, but the Ricoh Z1, it's been really reliable for me. Sure, there are some pros and cons, and we'll go over that. But I really like it. I like the size of it. I like the format of it. It's a little precarious. It comes with two lenses, one here and one here. And these stick out. So if your camera falls over, you certainly have a very good chance of breaking the lens. So it's little precarious things. You may want to put extra weight on the monopod or tripod you use, which I'll also go into when I'm using. But I really, really like it. It's super fast and easy. And I know that I have shot houses, because I've used timers. I've shot houses 1,500, 1,800 square feet in under 5 minutes. And that is with 15, 20, 360 photos. And that is something that is unbelievable and fantastic for me. I want to get in and out quick, because my job is really shooting high-end photos and doing other things like that. This is just an add-on, because I know that some of my agents are going to demand that I am able to supply 360 photography. So it doesn't really matter what I charge. I'm not going to go into pricing, but you can easily charge $79, $89, $129, $159. Some people are charging over $200 for a 360, but I don't want to go into business, because that is dependent upon where you live and what your clientele is and what your competition's doing. So it's not fair for me to give you a price to do it. But I will say it's super fast. Normally it takes about 8 to 12, 15 minutes to do a 3,500 square foot house. And, you know, there's ways. I've gotten a lot faster. And one thing I will say, I learned a lot since October till January or February, how these things work and how to make them work in my workflow and in my business. So it's a little bit of a steep learning curve at the beginning if you've never done any kind of 360 photography, but it is certainly doable. If I can do it, you can do it, and you can be successful like me, because it's just not brain surgery. It's just something that you can do, and there's so much information now on the internet. But don't freak out. Wait for the camera. Wait for the Z1. Don't go, I got to get it today. But, you know, if you got to get it today, you can find the Ricoh V. So anyway, but I don't have any information how the image quality compares to the two. Okay, so some of the cons. The battery life. There is an internal battery, so you cannot replace batteries. And I can only get about a house or a house and a half out of a battery charge. But I do have a monopod where I keep my little USB battery here, and I run the cable up and I plug it into my Z1. And now one thing you got to know, though, if you're going to do plug in, you've got to make sure there's enough room on the base of your monopod, or you buy a little extender like this. You can find this at Amazon. I'll see if I can find the address, the link in the show notes. But you can find something at Ace Hardware just to give you about that much room. It's a 1/4 inch to 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch male to 1/4 inch female. So, and that's really simple to find, but you can plug in a battery. One thing I will suggest is that you always make sure well before the shoot you're charged up, because these things will die really quickly. One good thing is they charge really quickly too. I think you can do a full charge in 45 minutes or an hour. But you cannot shoot this under 10% battery. They just won't even shoot. So you just got to make sure there's battery here. Now it's built-in memory, so there's a limitation there, but honestly, I don't ever worry about it. I've probably got 5, 6, 7 360 shoots on here, and all you have to do is plug it in your camera and delete it. And you can find out all these technical things after you buy the camera, and you do that. Just don't expect them from me today. This is an overall, okay? This has what I shoot. My emphasis is on quick and easy, fast, down and dirty 360s. I don't want to get the best image quality, because I don't know if you could compare this with an iGuide camera, with a Matterport camera, the big Matterport cameras. And you certainly can't compare this with the DSLR. So if you're a pixel peeper and you're really an image snob, an image quality snob, this may not be the right camera for you, because there are some issues with blown out windows, color cast, things like that. But I'm going to tell you about my tutorial later, but you can edit these, and it's very easy to fix color corrections, things like that. But I use the built-in HDR in a JPEG format, and that works for me. The image quality is pretty good, but it's so fast, so easy, and it's what works for me. Okay. Now you can also do a thing. They have plugins. Ricoh has plugins called the time shift, so you don't have to leave the area when you push the button to take the picture. It takes the picture out of the front camera, which is this is the front camera, and then it counts down 5 seconds, and then you walk around to the other side of the camera, and it takes a picture from the back camera, and you don't have to hide. But I usually just use my Ricoh app in here, or my Zillow app. If I'm shooting Zillow, that's another story right there. But I will say that there is another plugin. I'm not sure. I think it is a plugin, but it's called the Dual Fisheye DNG, or raw images, and it does a bracket of HDR, and it's supposedly the image quality. I played with it. The image quality is better, but for me, honestly, it's too much trouble for me to deal with. I urge you to try it and find out for yourself if it's better for you. But I find that just the in-camera HDR JPEG is, the image quality is really good, and it's fine for me. And as far as how to shoot it, that's going to be up to you. You're going to get your flow and figure out how to shoot 360. So I'm not even going to go into that today. Okay, image quality. Image quality is good. It's got some blowout. It's got some chromatic aberration, though you can fix the chromatic aberration in Lightroom. Very simple. Speed. It's so fast. It literally takes 1 second to take a 360 image. It's fantastic. It doesn't rotate. It just has 2 lenses and takes pictures, and it's great. I love it. It's so fast and so easy. Pricing $9.99, so it's $1,000. I have seen it discounted on the Ricoh website, but that was a few months ago. How it works, it just works great, man. You can use your remote app to take pictures. You can push the button here. Very simple. There are only like 4 buttons here, and it's super simple. It has Wi-Fi, so it works with Wi-Fi between your camera and the device, and it's great. It's so easy. It's so simple. It really is a no-brainer to me, and I like this Ricoh because I find it is overall the easiest, the best for me. But there are a lot of cameras coming out. There's a guy named Ben Claremont in Australia, and he's a great guy. He has his own tutorial, which I will put in the show notes. This tutorial is by far the most comprehensive tutorial. But Ben Claremont is like I call him the guru of 360. So I urge you to check him out. And he has a lot of information on other cameras and other platforms and things like that. Ricoh V. Now this is the Z1, Ricoh V. If you can't get the Z1, everybody's sending me a message on Facebook. Should I just go, I can't get the Z, I can't get the Z, should I buy the V? Go buy the V. You know, use it as a backup if your Z1, when it falls and breaks the lens or whatever. But go do what you want to do. I can't really help you there. Other cameras. I know there are tons of other cameras coming out, but I know that they can't all live up to certain expectations. I know that GoPro has one. You've got the Q Cam, all these things. And I know that there will be some really great new stuff coming out in the near future. So I look forward to seeing where this goes. But this whole thing is it's blowing up so fast. I guarantee you there's going to be all kinds of new stuff coming out real quick. Hosting. Okay, let's talk about hosting. Let me go down my notes. Please understand, when you shoot a 360 image, you can't just take this out of the camera and send it to a client, because they will not be able to read. Their device will not be able to read what a 360 is. So it's like if you post a 360 directly from this camera to Facebook, Facebook has the ability and the algorithm to read 360 format, but you can't just do it for clients. So you have to get a hosting company. And I personally use Cloud Pano. I find them the best for what I do. So there'll be some information in the show notes upon that. I also have my YouTube tutorial with Cloud Pano. So, but this tutorial can help you in all areas of setting up your camera and step by step and how to edit and how to deliver and how to do all that kind of stuff. But you can do Cloud Pano. There is Matterport now is using this Ricoh camera, so you don't have to have the big $3,500 panorama camera from Matterport. You can use this Ricoh camera, and I know a lot of people have been doing that. I played with it a little bit. I'm still staying with Cloud Pano, but that's just me. There's another one called Koroao or something. I don't know, but you know what? Ben Claremont has a tutorial on all the different hosting options, so he's much more versed at doing this than I am. We also have an interview with Ben Claremont on our Shooting Spaces podcast.com, and you can find his interview coming up, and really informative, some really good stuff. Okay, so I want to make this short and sweet. I just want to say that I'm giving the Ricoh camera and 360 photography in general 2 thumbs up. And I want to say that never did I imagine in October of last year, of 2019, that COVID-19 would be coming and around the corner. But COVID-19 has made a mind shift to people and business. And now people are going to Zoom, remote. We want to do 360s so people don't have to leave their house to come out in public and see homes, see MLS listings. That's why we want to see 360s. So it really has just been like the perfect storm for 360s. And that doesn't mean I'm in any way, shape, or form saying that COVID's been good in any way. It really hasn't. But it's been very enlightening, and I think we'll all see big changes in the business in the next few months and years. We'll see how it happens. But again, I think that this is a great setup. By the way, this is my my Bushman monopod. Let me make this a little smaller for you, show you what it is. I'll tell you something. I'd be nowhere without this thing. I love it. And it has the easiest, best working legs, feet. I've got my little battery mounted here, which works great. And it is just light. It is compact. It is very, very sturdy. And I'll leave the link to the Bushman monopod. Unfortunately, another company that is sold out, so you might not be able to find this monopod. But if you can, and you can always go get another monopod. You could use anything. You can use a tripod, but you got to understand if the footprint is bigger, it will show up in the image because you see 360s complete. So, and I just want to say thank you for hanging out. I do want to impress upon you to check out my tutorial, and it's very valuable. I have a lot of the tips and tricks that I learned from my experience with this Z1 in my first 6 months. So I think it's a great thing to watch. Ben Claremont has his tutorial also. I'll give you that. And I've got a 10% off coupon to use to see that. But his video too, his tutorial is not only for real estate, it's 360, encompasses all of 360, and it's extremely well made. As though my tutorial is, I don't even have it on my YouTube channel, but it's well worth the investment. I think you will learn from it and pretty much stand by it. So check this out. And, in general, I think we're going to be seeing some big changes. 2020 has been a very interesting year. And I think some are going to succeed and some are going to fall. But it's been good for me. I've been doing a lot of my coaching, helping people with 360 photography. And it's just in general been a very positive year for me, as bad as it's been. And, I got to say, I feel for you out there if you're having problems financially. And I think we're going to learn from this and get better and stronger. But right now, you got opportunity to do investment in your education. So I want to say thank you so much for hanging out. I want to thank Panorama for sponsoring my YouTube channel. Please, if you are going to go purchase some equipment, the Z1 camera, use the links in the show note. I have all kinds of links, and anything you do helps to make these free free tutorials. Okay, I want to say check out Shooting Spaces, a real estate photography podcast, at shootingspacespodcast.com, or we have all of my presets and my webinars and everything there with my buddy Brian Berkowitz on Shooting Spaces. We have at shootingspaces.net. And I want to say that whatever you're doing, be safe. Really be safe out there shooting in houses. And I think this is good to go forth as long as we're going to be doing this. Shoot better, shoot smarter. Really think about what you're doing. Think about your composition. Spend time thinking about your composition. Okay? Think about this is not just a day job, and this is not where you're at right now because it's taking you a long time to shoot and edit, and your clients aren't working for you, but you keep at it. You're going to be where you want to be. So it's an investment in a career. So thank you so much, and I will see you on the next tutorial. Bye.